Hello, and welcome back to Scrum Study Course on a guide to the Scrum Body of Knowledge, a definitive guide for Scrum and the rules for the game. Scrum is a framework for developing and sustaining complex projects. What is the Scrum Body of Knowledge? It is a compilation of the latest methods and best practices employed by its practitioners and experts. Furthermore, it provides guidelines for the successful implementation of Scrum. It is the most popular agile project management and project development framework. It provides a comprehensive framework that includes the principles, aspects, and processes of the Scrum framework. Now that we know what Scrum and a guide to the SBOK are, let us see the applicability of Scrum as defined in a guide to the SBOK. Scrum framework is widely used across portfolios, programs, and/or projects in any industry, products, services, or any other deliverables to be developed, and projects of any size or complexity. According to the Scrum Body of Knowledge, the term product may refer to a product, service, or other deliverable. The practicality of Scrum as a framework is that it can be applied effectively to any project in any industry, whether they are small projects with 6-person teams or large, complex projects with up to several hundred team members. Now that we have pretty much summed up the Scrum Body of Knowledge in general, let's quickly run through an overview of a guide to the SBOK chapters. The first chapter describes the purpose and framework of a guide to the SBOK and provides an introduction to the key concepts of Scrum. It also contains the summary of Scrum principles, Scrum aspects, and Scrum processes. The second chapter expands on the 6 Scrum principles, the foundation on which the Scrum framework is based. Chapters 3 through 7 elaborate on the 5 Scrum aspects that must be addressed throughout any project. The chapters discussed are organization, business justification, quality, change, and risk. Chapters 8 through 12 cover the 19 Scrum processes involved in carrying out a Scrum project. These processes are, in turn, the part of 5 Scrum phases, which are initiate, plan and estimate, implement, review in retrospect, and release. The phases detail the associated inputs and outputs of each process, as well as the various tools that may be used in each. Some inputs, tools, and outputs are mandatory and are indicated as such. Others are optional, depending on the specific project, organizational requirements, and/or guidelines set forth by the organization's Scrum Guidance Body, or SGB. Finally, Appendix A contains an overview of the Agile Manifesto by Fowler and Highsmith, and a discussion of various Agile methods for those who want more information about Agile. The sections covered in this chapter are 1.1 Overview of Scrum, 1.2 Why use Scrum, 1.3 Purpose of a Guide to the SBOK, 1.4 Framework of a Guide to the SBOK, and 1.5 Scrum versus Traditional Project Management. And that wraps up the introduction to the Scrum Body of Knowledge. We'll see you in the next session, Overview of Scrum.